call doing an interview over the phone with a reporter. And the reporter's being so polite, and then she's just being so aggravated at him for seemingly no reason, just so she can get a clip of going, "You're BS, you're fake news." And he's just bringing up things that are a direct response to stuff she had recently said. Strangest little phenomenon here. But again, I guess she's trying to prove, because she was very critical of Trump in the last few days. But I think she's trying to prove to her MAGA followers that she's still on the Trump train. Look, I told a fake news reporter there's no divide. You're BS. And then she hangs up on the reporter. So let's watch this, and I'll respond as we go along. I think you might want audio. I don't know. I think it's a little more interesting that way. Let me unmute. There we go.
So, yeah, I think the question has been, for a long time you've been Trump's, most outspoken ally in Congress. It feels like over the past couple weeks, you've shown a willingness to break with him, and I'm wondering just what's behind that.
I have always been President Trump's most outspoken ally. I defended the president when people that are serving in his administration were donating to Democrats and even running against him for president, and nothing has changed now. I think that it's really important. I can't underscore that enough. I ran on the exact same platform that President Trump ran on. I got elected for the exact same policies and campaign promises that President Trump got elected on. There is no break. There is no split. There is no lack of support from me to President Trump. And so this would be a narrative or a lie that you're creating or someone's asking you to create. And
George Soros.
I will not tolerate it one single bit.
Got it.
The reporter. Okay. It gets more intense, but let me say that. Why is she? You're telling a lie. You're lying about me. This is your post, Marjorie. Saying, I spent millions of my own money. I campaigned for Trump. And only 6 months in, we're back in foreign wars, regime change, World War III. It feels like a complete bait and switch to please the neocons and warmongers. That's her. That's a split. In politics, that's her splitting with him. This is not a fake news fabrication. But when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like being rude. Okay?
Was there any, how did it come about? There was some reporting, I think, early on that they asked you not to run.
Sorry, I know y'all want to listen to this. Just as a total side thought, the look on her face right now, you know when you're on the phone with somebody and you just kind of, they're saying things that are fine, but you kind of feel like they're annoyed at you. I think we all fear that that's the look on the face of the person on the other end of the phone when they're like, what? Yes, okay. You're like, I hope they're not making that Marjorie face.
For Senate, or his political team asked you not to run for Senate. Is that any truth to that?
No, I was not asked to not run for Senate. And those were fake polls that were put up against me. And so I reject those polls. And my decision to not run for Senate, I explained in a very lengthy post that you can go read on my X account that is my personal account and that I also use for my campaign. And none of that anywhere in my explanation or my decision making had anything to do with what you just mentioned.
Got it. So
I just want you to know how I am perceiving your interview here is more of an attack piece on me. And I don't know who is putting you up to it, and I don't know why you're writing it, but I think it's absolute bullshit, and I'm going to completely reject it.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
And I just want you to know, I'm warning you right now. You are going to be spreading lies about me. You're putting out a complete narrative about me that is not true. And I'm warning you not to do this.
Stop it. Marge, stop it. Stop. You're being so goofy. So I'm just going to tell you that I think this is complete and utter bullshit is what it is. He's asking you two very reasonable questions. I think whoever this reporter was, she expected it to be a hostile interview, and he hops on pleasant as ever, and she's kind of like, well, I already planned to say this. Because you could even, she went, no, there was no request for me not to run for Senate by the Trump campaign. There was, definitely. Trump convinced her not to, but whatever, she's not going to confirm that. So there's no request, and I do deny that. And then in her head, she's thinking, wait, I got my staffer to record this. I want a good, hot, sort of hostile moment. So then she goes, and also, I'll have you know that I think you're bullshit. I think that too. As we continue through this, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. And final days before our live show, July 5th, Austin, Texas. Get your tickets. LukeBeasleshow.com/live. There it is. That's the graphic. Link in the description if you're anywhere in Austin. It's going to be awesome. There was one time, I think this will contextualize, and then we'll look at the ending where she hangs up. And I'm not saying this was good of me. I regret this. But a friend of mine was going to get onto the phone with a guy, and we wanted to consult her through it. And so you shouldn't do this. You should always tell the person on the other side of the phone if other people are hearing it, okay? Marjorie and me in that case. So she put the guy on speakerphone, and we were like writing out things that she could say, like on a notes app, and being like, say this now. And at one point he was like, is it just you in the room? Because she was sort of talking like she was like a hostage. I just think that you aren't, is that R? You are rude to me. Like reading it off of a note. And he's like, is there other people there? She's like, no, why would you? The reporter's probably getting those vibes of like, why is she talking to me like this? This is not the sweet Marjorie I know.
I was just back to Rand for a second. I'm just wondering, do you think things are going in the right direction for the White House on this decision? Do you think it's going to prove they're going to prove themselves having made the right decision or not?
I know President Trump very well. He does not want to be involved in forever foreign wars. He doesn't want boots on the ground. He doesn't want.
Okay, and then we skip forward to when she cuts it off.
Tulsi Gabbard, who ran against him in 2020, serving in his administration, and many others. There's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinions. I fully support President Trump, and I think that his administration is doing a great job.
Have you talked to him directly about it?
I don't have to answer any more of your questions because I am sick and tired of your narrative, and I'm calling it out as complete and total bullshit.
Okay.
So we're done. No, we're done.
Yes. Show him his place, Marjorie. He's being so nice. Hey, and so what do you think of the Trump administration's recent... Essentially what he's asking is, what do you think about the biggest thing in the news right now? I don't like your narrative, I'll have you know. She was all over Steve Bannon's show, X, saying, I cannot believe that Trump is doing this. It's so heartbreaking. I supported him, but this is bad. And so then a reporter goes, hey, you want to expand on that? I don't like your... It's very weird. I really do think that she was expecting him. It's kind of like when you go, I cannot believe you think we shouldn't go get Pete Terry's tonight. No, actually, Pete Terry sounds nice tonight. Oh, well, really? Because a lot of times oh, wait, what? We agree. Okay. Like she was expecting him to be worse than he was. He was being perfectly pleasant, Marjorie. Now, this is not her only aggravated thing today. She also was in a hearing. And let me tell you, giving Marjorie Taylor Greene a gavel, metaphorically and literally, was a big mistake.
I yield back.
The gentleman yields. No one loves
Chair.
veterans more than President Trump, and he's made that apparent. That's why he's working for peace
Madam Chair,
right
Madam,
now.
it's
Madam
not
Chair.
your time right now.
I'm the chair of this committee.
That's not how
I'm the chair-
parliamentary procedure works.
You're not
Madam
recognized, Ms.
Chairwoman.
Stanbury.
You're not
recognized.
recognized either. You can't just speak anytime you want.
I'm the
That's
chair of
not
this
how
committee.
That's not how it
Ms.
works.
Stansbury,
Madam-
you're not recognized.
Madam Chairwoman, that is not how You
Ms.
can
Stansbury, you're
smash
not
your gavel
recognized.
all day, but that's not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
We're going to give you a Robert's
Ms.
Rules of
Stansbury,
Order
you're
and
not-
the
Point of
Ms.
order.
Stansbury,
So
you're
that you
not
can-
recognized.
so that
Point
you
of
can
order.
Understand parliamentary procedure.
Point of order.
Okay.
Point of order.
All right, Madam Chair, calm down. Let's move on.
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized. Point of order.
Madam Chair, I've got oh, I'm sorry, you had a point of order.
So,
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, can we decide who's going to speak first, and we can?
Absolutely. I'm the chair of this committee, and Mr.
I know
Gill,
that,
Mr.
but-
Gill from Texas
There
is
you go.
recognized for 5 minutes.
There you go.
Madam Chair, I had
Wow. That is that's something. I feel like there are a lot of moments where, well, first let me say, obviously I stand against almost everything Marjorie stands for. But there's a little part of me feels like that little thing, we've all been there. We've all been there. Where we wish we could just, in a social setting, just gavel, silence. Oh gosh, that's see, this is leadership.
Committee.
That's not how it
Ms.
works.
Stansbury,
Madam-
you're not recognized.
Madam Chairwoman, that is not how
Ms. Stansbury,
I feel like the gavel's just gonna snap in half. Oh yeah. Marjorie. Now, during one of these hearings, Representative Ruiz asked Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about his Maha report and how it was citing to studies that didn't exist and it had all of these issues. And so he asked Bobby a pretty simple question. Mr. Fax, did you fact check this report? And the answer that Bobby gives may surprise you.
Kennedy, you're listed as the chair of the commission. Did you read the report and fact-check its sources prior to publication?
All of the factual.
Did you read the reports and did you yourself fact-check them, sir?
I did not fact check.
You did not fact-check. So why then?
Shocker. Absolute shocker. It's funny how they have to put honorary. He's honorary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Honorary.
As has
No, the honorable, not the honorary. I did not fact check that statement. The honorable, excuse me. The honorary. The honorable Secretary Kennedy.
check them, sir.
I did not fact check.
You did not fact-check. So why then, as has
All
been
of the
widely
foundational
reported, excuse me,
assertions
sir, I'm
that-
speaking. Why then did the report include a citation to sources that don't even exist? How does that happen under your leadership, sir?
All of the foundational assertions in that report are accurate.
They did not
Some of
exist.
them-
How can they be
some-
accurate if they did not
That
exist, sir?
Some of the citations
You know, in
were-
fact, my understanding
Some of the
is that
citations
even
were
once
messed
the
up for
report,
one day,
even once the
and-
report was updated, more authors and researchers came forward stating that their research was misconstrued. This is quite unbelievable, sir. In fact, I was a pre-med at UCLA. They have a great pre-med program. If somebody turned this in as an undergrad to their professor at UCLA, they would have received an F, sir, an F for the misinterpretation, the falsehoods, the denials, and also citing references that don't even exist. That's lying and dishonest, sir. My concern here,
Citations
my
were
concern
corrected in
here
one
is
day.
that you and this administration are undertaking vast changes to our federal public health system and using purported facts and gold standard.
Yeah. I got very disoriented. I think we all, while listening to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., are Representative Auchincloss here. If you want to cut to that, Jaden. Oh, off the frame. Just not impressed at all. I think he's in pain having to listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That's funny. I'm gonna start doing that while we listen to him. Oh my gosh. He's like, this is so brutal. I'll have you know, Bobby, you got an F. I like that. If I graded this report, it would be an F. So, next time a MAGA, just travel with this. And next time a MAGA start telling you about the election was stolen or how Trump's the greatest president ever, just give them this response.
Committee.
That's not how it
Ms.
works.
Stansbury,
Madam-
you're not
Madam
recognized.
Chairwoman, that is not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
all day, but that's not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not
parliamentarians-
recognized.
We're going to get you a Robert's
Ms.
Rules of
Stansbury,
Order
you're
and
not-
the
A
committee-
point of
Ms.
order.
So if you witness any problems in your life, just know Congress is hard at work solving your problems. Eek. Share your thoughts in the comments.